wanted a drum. Now, this little boy was poor, and his mom was a farmer. She grew grain and ground it into flour and took it to the market and sold it. And what little bit she made, she sold to buy some flour and salt and just put some subsistence on the table for the family. So there was never a whole lot of money left. And she knew that little boy wanted a drum, and there was just no way that she was going to afford it. But just maybe there was something else she could do. So one day on her way back home from the market, she was walking along and she saw along the side of the road this mighty fine stick. And so she thought, well, it's no drum, but it's kind of cool and maybe he could play with that for a while instead. So she brought that stick on home and gave it to her son, and he tried really hard not to look disappointed. You thought he'd give it a shot anyway. And so, like some other folks that I know, many of them that I call friends and colleagues, he took that stick and started tapping on all the things, and whacking on all the things, and beating on all the things, until Mom ran him out of the house. And my sweetheart's sitting back there smiling about that one, because she knows it to be true. She's done that more than a time or two. And so he started walking around town with his stick and tapping on all the things and trying to find out where all the cool instruments might be. And that's when he found this little old lady trying to start her fire. And, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of wood to spare, and so she was using dung patties to light the stove, as many third world places do. And it was smoky, and it was stinky. And this poor woman was a baker, and if you've never had dung bread before, so he decided to help her out because he had this mighty fine stick, and he offered it to her. And she broke up that stick and put it right in the stove, and it fired right up, and she made some bread, and she was so thrilled that she gave him a little bit to share. And he went on his merry way, and he walked on down the road carrying that nice, fresh, hot loaf of not dung bread. And he was walking along and humming and singing to himself and looking for the next thing that he might be able to play as a drum when he came across the sound of crying. And he looked and he saw this little kid sitting by the side of the road, crying, sad and hungry. And so he shared a little bit of that bread. And out popped the mom's head from behind the tree on the side of the road. And she was so grateful and so thankful that her child was no longer hungry and crying. Because if you've been out this time of year at all and been anywhere near that place we call the mall, you know about frazzled moms and hungry kids. And she happened to be the potter's wife, and so she offered to that little boy in return her very best pot. And if you don't know, pots make great drums. So he started tapping along and walking with his new pot. And he headed right on down the road until he encountered this husband and wife arguing. And that tends to happen a lot this time of year, too. Well, turns out they were the washer folks. And they washed all the clothes of the town. Only she had broken their laundry pot. And so the husband was scolding her. And he said, hey, you guys, please don't argue. Look what I have right here. A nice new pot. And so he offered them that pot to do the laundry in. And they were thrilled because they were back in business in a literal sense. So they gave him a beautiful coat that someone had left behind. And so now, all warm and toasty, he went on walking down the road in this nice, bright, beautiful coat, looking for the next thing to tap upon, and then he found a naked naked man standing beside the road. But that's not something I often encounter in the holiday season. But maybe it's different for you. And he said, hey, dude, where are your clothes? And the guy said, well, here I was minding my own business, trying to water my horse by the stream, and along came these robbers, and they took everything I owned. And here I am, naked and cold, but not afraid. And so that young boy, he offered the fellow his coat. And the guy was so happy that he gave the kid the horse. And that's pretty cool when you're a kid. So he went on down the road, clip clop, listening to the rhythm of that horse's feet, walking right on down the road until he encountered a wedding party. And there was the groom, and the groom's father, and all the groom's men, and the band. And they were on the way to the wedding. But they were all sitting up under this tree on the side of the road looking really sad, because you see, in India, the tradition was that they would ride into that wedding on the back of a beautiful horse. Only the guy with the horse never showed up. I wonder why. And so he gave him the horse. And they said, what can I do in return? And they gave him that band's drum. And that's where the story ends, and also where it begins. And so the morals of the story are simple. Your greatest gifts aren't really meant for you. And the greatest gift of all is giving. And so I'll leave you with that sentiment this holiday season. Thank you for your listening.